name's Pete Reed and welcome to this look at the Android camera on Android devices all across the way. And what I want to do today is just have a brief look at some of the features that's actually built into the camera. So therefore I should say that this is looking at the basic camera app, nothing that you've actually downloaded from the Play Store. This is the one that comes with the device. And also to say that this is the subject that we covered this morning at the Computer Club. So this will serve as a reminder to the people who attended, and it will be fresh information to people who didn't. And also, hey, if you don't want to play with a cool little camera, then hey, look away now. Okay, let's move on. Okay, the camera app looks like a little camera. So all you need to do to launch it is find it on your device, click onto it, and then it will launch. Now, camera will usually start in camera mode, and you can take a picture just by pointing the camera at whatever you want to take the picture of and tapping the white camera at the bottom of the screen. Now, there are all sorts of other things that we can actually explore here from swiping in from the left hand side, but we've also got over this side here, we've got these three little dots. So let's just explore those little dots first of all. Now, the first little dot that we've got, or the first ones that we get on that little dot screen, is we've actually got the timer. Now, the timer allows you to set a distance between the time when you click the button to say take the photograph and when the photograph is actually taken. So it allows you to prop your device up somewhere, click the button, get round in front there and stand with your family and friends and be in the picture yourself. The next one across, I should also say though, if your camera seems to be taking an awful long time between when you press the shutter and it actually taking the photograph, just have a check on that setting and just make sure that you haven't inadvertently got it set to a 3-second delay or something of that nature. Next one across is the grid. Now, the grid puts a grid on the screen to help you to compose your picture and to make it as good as you can make it. What it doesn't do, it doesn't put a grid on the finished photograph. The next button across is the flash button. If you haven't got flash, it's not there. Flash allows you to take pictures at night, so again you can turn it on, turn it off or whatever. We've then got the forward and rear facing camera. So if when you turn your camera on and you look at your subject, you find that you've got your own beautiful face staring back at you, chances are that you've actually got the camera set up wrongly. So going in, three little dots, click on this one and it will choose the rear facing camera. And then down the bottom there we've got the white camera that allows us to take the photo. Now, if we actually move in from the left, swipe in from the left, then we get another set of options. The first one is photosphere. Now, photosphere, if you assume that you were sat in the middle of a ball, then you could actually take photographs all over the inside of the ball, and a photosphere creates that sort of internal appearance of a ball. So you could be sitting at your desk, and I've done this, taking photographs around me, and people can see how distorted my office actually is. The next one is Panorama, where again you can actually take a picture of a long building or of a square or of a family group, large group of family people, so that you can actually get them all into the same photograph by taking a series of photographs which the machine will then stitch together. Lens blur, well, lens blur actually seems to operate on the reverse of the photosphere. So imagine that your object is actually in the middle of the ball, and then you are at the edge of the ball and you're going to take a few pictures around that to give that sort of blurry effect. The camera takes pictures, wonderful stuff, and as you can see, because I've actually got the camera as the default one, it's got that blue circle around it. And finally, we've got the video that allows us to take video clips. Let's just have a quick look at the settings. Oh no, let's have a quick look. Here's an example of a photosphere. So this is my desk. As you can see, it is a desk of a very busy person. So there's the teacup, there's my lights, there's the clock, and there's my laptop sat in front of me as I'm working away. There's a panorama shot. So again, as you can see, there's an old building where we were visiting. Now remember, this was actually, I was stood in the middle of this, and that this was actually a square, a courtyard in the middle surrounded by these buildings. But because of the way the panorama shot has actually been taken, it makes it look as though it's actually one range of buildings, whereas in actual fact it is a courtyard. Okay, so the settings. Inside of settings we've got resolution and quality, and this allows us to choose the quality that we need from our images. Now, by definition, most of the cameras would actually be set at highest definition quality. So on a Nexus tablet, it's about 5 megapixels. So lots and lots of quality, lots and lots of detail. However, if you're only going to be using these images to view on your mobile device, you've got no intentions of printing them or doing anything arty with them, then I would suggest that you don't necessarily need to use that much storage space. So I would diminish the quality for many images and just up it for the images where I know I'm going to be using them. So if, for example, I'm shooting simply for something that's going to appear as a throwaway on a web page, a lower quality image may well be. However, if it's something that's going to be forming part of a design function on a website, then I may well take to the highest quality I can, just to make sure that I can trim it, expand it and mess about with it to get the best I can. Save location. Oh, this is a fantastic feature. Save location will mean that when you take the photograph, the camera will remember where you were. It will actually use its geopositioning to say where you were when you took that photograph. Now, if you've got Auto Awesome turned on as well, not only will it do this, but if you're a sufficient distance from home, it will actually start to build these into a library, and therefore it will actually record them as a trip, put them into a separate gallery. It will try and help to make sure that you've got some great memories along with where you were, when you were, and all the rest of it. Fantastic thing. Advanced allows us to look at some exposure control settings. Now, I am not a photographer, so I could only be pretending to tell you why I would ever want to do these things, but have a play. Go into exposure control settings and it gives you +2 to -2, and you can change the exposure on your images and see what difference it makes. And there is help and feedback. Always worth exploring that if you're getting stuck inside the system. The next thing we can do from our image is we can edit the photo. Now, to get to this screen, what I've done is I've swiped in from the right this time after taking a photo. And as you can see at the top of the screen, I've got the camera icon again. Now, the camera icon allows me to go back to my camera. Now, on some screens I've seen that would just be an arrow, but that's what it does. It takes you back to the camera. Up in the top corner, the other top corner, top right, we've got the photos. So that takes you off to your album, so you can go and see all your photos that are stored on your device and on the cloud. Down in the bottom there, we've got the share icon, and the share icon will show you a range of apps that you could share the image with. So say, for example, I wanted to share this image with Google+, then on my share list there would be Google+, and I can click onto that to share that image. The next one across is the edit pencil, and we'll go and have a look at the edit pencil. And then the final one is that little white bin, and that little white bin I feel is often the most underutilized tool in the entire photo editing sphere. If it's a bad photo, bin it. You can always take some more, it's not a problem. Okay, editing. So we've now clicked on the edit button and we can see the editing, and so what we've actually got there is auto enhance, and auto will allow you to enhance the image to create enhance the colors and various other bits and pieces to make it look as good as it can. Next one across is crop. Crop allows us to crop the image down to the image that we actually wanted to take. So if, for example, I think we've all done this, we've taken a picture of the dog, and all you can actually see is a great field of grass with a small sort of brown head bobbing in there somewhere. Well, then crop it down to give the dog the center of attention, to make the dog the center of attention, and get rid of all of that greenery in the background. So again, we can actually help in that manner. Rotate. I'm sure that we've all done this, where we've taken a photograph in portrait mode or landscape mode, and then we're looking at the camera and it is always in the wrong orientation. Well, this is where we can rotate it and put it into the correct rotation. Styles gives us different lighting effects for our images, and again, playing about with that, we can create warmer images, softer images, and all sorts of bits and pieces. Now, if you put your finger onto where it says styles and just swipe gently to the right, then there's a load more tools that make an appearance. So as you can see, we've got tune image, we've got selection, we've got details. So have a play with all of these and see which ones you actually like. And don't forget the one I had at the end there, which is frames. Frames allows you to put a frame around your image so that you can actually have a nice border. Looks great. I should have a play with that one. So the other nice thing about images, and what I would suggest, is that you make sure that auto backup is turned on. And what this will do is it will take the images that you've taken from on your mobile device, and it will upload them into your storage space on Google Pictures, Google Photos. Now, Google gives you 15 gigabytes of storage space. Now, it's important to note that if your image is less than 2048 pixels, then it does not count towards your storage limit. So if you've got 10 pictures of 2048 pixels, it takes up 0 space in your storage space. So again, it's well worth thinking about just using slightly lower quality images or slightly smaller images if you don't need them to be that big. Okay, so that's it. That's the quick overview done. Next week what we're going to be doing is going to be looking at loading images from other sources, and then we'll also look at how we can manipulate them once we get them onto the screen. And who knows, we might even have a chance to have another play with Video. Hope that helps. Talk to you later. Cheers then. Bye.